So something interesting is happening right now. Masashi Kishimoto and Mikio Ikemoto, both the writer and artist of the Boruto manga, are doing an interview somewhere in France right now about the Boruto manga. And I know this is a little more niche, but I figured I'd make a video on it because I'm sure there's going to be lots of cool bombshells dropped here. Or at the very least, just interesting tidbits of information about where the story's at and where it's heading. So without further ado, let's get started. I want to say I think this is the second public interview Kishimoto's ever done post Boruto serialization, so this is going to be really interesting to see what Kishimoto's saying, because typically I think a lot of the content come out post Boruto has just been with Ikemoto or Kodachi. A lot of people love to say, oh, Kishimoto's retired, he hasn't touched Boruto in a decade. I don't think that's the case, and hopefully this interview can prove me right. Shout out to at Boruto Naruto FR, and I'm assuming they're actually at the interview right now as it's going on. And just for the record, there may be translation errors. I'm literally just using Google Translate to translate the tweets as they come out from this account. Not gonna promise that that's 100% accurate, but it's the best of what we've got right now. So we've got a cool little picture here of Ikemoto drawing Boruto. Damn. Yeah, that could go on a cover for sure. He's cooking, dude. It says, first of all, this thread is based on the memories of at SNWFLLL, at VOOXYS, and at E_Rise, who were able to go to the cinema where the interview was broadcast. So there may be some small errors and missing information given that it was not reported word for word. Dang, someone even colored? Did he color it live? That's sick. First question, as the author of Naruto, how did you feel about moving from Boruto supervisor to screenwriter? Kishimoto responds, as for Boruto, I have no worries because I wrote the outline of the synopsis until the end of the story and then handed it over to Ikemoto. So right off the bat, we're proving all the Kishimoto doubters wrong. Kishimoto wrote the entire story until the end and then handed it over to Ikemoto. So Kishimoto knew the ending of Boruto from the start. That's actually super cool. Wow, I didn't expect that, to be honest. I mean, I'll admit I was part of the Kishimoto's not writing Boruto camp for a while, but it's become increasingly clear that Kishimoto is involved with this story. If there are any points to change, and this is in reference to the plot that Kishimoto originally wrote for Ikemoto, we consult and we move forward by agreeing. Okay, that's cool. And more than anything, every month, Ikemoto makes a Nemu storyboard at the draft stage with ideas, development, and characters that surpass my outline of the synopsis. Okay, so Kishimoto wrote the original story for Boruto up until the end, and if there's anything that Ikemoto wants to change about that, first Kishimoto has to agree to it, and then Ikemoto has the freedom to storyboard with different characters and development that he wants to include on top of Kishimoto's original draft. So that's pretty dope, and it's kind of what I've figured was happening. Kishimoto's not sitting there every day writing the story with him. Kishimoto wrote like the main flagpole checkpoints that the story needs to hit, and Ikemoto's like filling in the actual storyboard, the actual chapters, the actual dialogue, all the meat and potatoes that we actually read each month. But Kishimoto formed the general ideas. So even though I check every month, I have almost nothing to complain about. Ikemoto is someone I trust who has helped me for a long time within the Naruto production team, so I know he was great both on the drawings and on the story. I wasn't planning on doing Boruto if Ikemoto didn't agree to take over. I think he said that in the past before, but that is kind of pretty interesting to note. If Kishimoto's best friend did not take up the offer, then we would not have Boruto. Next question. Fashion seems to be an important axis in Boruto's character design. Where do your inspirations come from? This is obviously directed towards Ikemoto because, I mean, if you've read the original Naruto, you know these designs like Ada and Code and Kawaki and Damon are very not Kishimoto-esque. I think it's pretty clear that these characters' designs are heavily inspired by Ikemoto's maybe interest in fashion. When you imagine a character, their temperament, thoughts, and tastes should be reflected in their clothes, okay? First of all, you need to know if the character likes clothes or not. What is he implying? People are naked? Know the level of importance he gives to appearance, even if it is unconscious. A dress is the result of the action of physiological factors. For example, currently Boruto is fighting while carrying the weight of a difficult mission on his shoulders. However, he is very careful to behave like Sasuke and to have his appearance. It is his way of doing things and also a thought to his master. It also shows that he has a lot of self-esteem because he grew up and lived in a privileged environment surrounded by the love of his family and friends. For Kawaki, it's the opposite. Having no self-esteem, he is indifferent to clothes. Why does he keep saying that? He's not naked, he wears clothes. At Kara's, he wore what Amano gave him. Today he dresses without thinking with what Ada buys him. When his sleeve is torn, he just leaves it as is. That's funny. So Ada buys Kawaki's clothes? That's canon. Oh my gosh, we're gonna get a filler episode of Ada going clothes shopping for Kawaki. Interesting. So that kind of shows the different parallels between Boruto and Kawaki. Boruto has a high self-esteem, as the translation says, and wants to dress like his master, Sasuke. We kind of already knew that. But for Kawaki, he's the exact opposite. He doesn't give a shit what he looks like. It's all raggedy, he has low self-esteem, and it kind of displays itself in the way he dresses. Also, Sarada is currently wearing a jacket that is too big and reveals her shoulder. This is because it is a brand of men's clothing that is worn by Boruto. She decided to buy it to remember him after he left the village. That's crazy, what? Okay, I actually really like that. That is cool. Because yeah, a lot of people love to hate on Sarada's outfit, like, dude, she does not look like a ninja. She's not wearing a ninja's outfit. That jacket's so impractical, it keeps falling over. But at least we have some sort of explanation. I wish that was in the manga, not just coming secondhand from Ikemoto. But that's pretty cool. I do like that. It's a neat touch. Wonder what brand Boruto is buying clothes from. I'm trying to rack my brain. Was any clothing brand ever mentioned in part 1? I can't think of anything, but that is interesting. Next question, what is the process of creating new characters? Ikemoto responds, to make things interesting, I put very unique particularities that make it possible to imagine the behavior of a character in relation to that, but it's not always the case. For example, Ada can dominate the world, but she is only focused on love and has a bit of a silly side. True. Hidari has the same techniques as Sasuke, and he reminds us of him in every way, but in reality he doesn't look like him at all. He seems very high. Very high? Hidari smoking that pack, bro. Next question, how does it feel to do a long series? Kishimoto responds, it was very physically demanding. I didn't have the physique to maintain a good level all the time, and there were difficult periods. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of rough. What did he wrote Naruto for 2 decades pretty much. When you think about what Oda's doing with One Piece, that's absolutely absurd, but even Kishimoto writing 700 chapters of a manga is pretty crazy. I mean, we hear about Gege Akutami getting super duper sick from writing JJK, and he's only chapter 200 something. So Kishimoto's built like a tank. I also asked myself questions that were very difficult to answer, in reference to the pain arc. That's why if Ikemoto hadn't accepted Boruto, I wouldn't have continued. I guess, the burden of doing a long series really caught up to him during the pain arc, and if Ikemoto hadn't accepted Boruto, Kishimoto wouldn't have continued, because he was already super worn out from writing Naruto for 20 years. Ikemoto then followed up with saying, when you make a long series, you have to evolve with the times, the trends, the scenario changes a lot, and currently it is far from the original script. That's how Ada and Damon were born. Okay, interesting. So Ada and Damon were not part of Kishimoto's original script, and that makes total sense. Ada and Damon never striked me as very Naruto-like. Aesthetic in their vibe, it definitely feels in line with what Ikemoto wants. Their inclusion felt extremely random. What was it, chapter 56, where they were first introduced? It was oh, by the way, there's these 2 cyborgs that have been, hidden in Boro's cult lair this whole time and are busted as hell, and were never mentioned. I don't want to say it was an ass pull, but they definitely were included kind of randomly and didn't seem like they were thought out from the beginning. And this totally confirms it. So Ada and Damon were not in the script at all, and Ikemoto just wanted to, I guess, evolve with the trends of the time, and that's his excuse for including them. I mean, yeah, they are futuristic looking. You could say for sure that they evolved with the times and the trends. I think there's literally pictures that show Ada's poses are inspired from K-pop, so yeah, he has a point. Code, for example, was supposed to die a long time ago. In fact, another even more important character was also saved. The role of Kashin Koji was renewed, and Amado's escape to Konoha followed. Code was supposed to die a long time ago. That makes perfect sense. Code is an absolute loser. He just doesn't feel like he needs to be around anymore, and I've been saying this in past videos. You can go watch my old videos. I keep hammering home that Code doesn't seem like he even is meant to be around anymore, and they don't know what to do with him. Wait, who's saying this? Ikemoto? Yeah, Ikemoto straight up said Code was supposed to die a long time ago. Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. In fact, another even more important character was also saved, implying maybe Kishimoto wanted to kill someone off in the original script and Ikemoto changed that and overwrote it? Probably Sasuke, I'm guessing. They chose to put him in a tree instead of kill him off. Or Kurama, that's a pretty obvious one. I mean, we knew the tailed beasts revived and they couldn't ever die, but Baryon mode still felt like it was the end to Kurama's character, so maybe they decided, actually, we're going to bring him back, and did the whole Himawari thing. Could also be in reference to Inojin a couple chapters ago, who died and just, like, randomly came back. Could be a reference to Kashin Koji, actually. Maybe Kashin Koji was meant to die, and then they decided to bring his character back in such a badass way. Next question. What are the differences in evolution between Naruto and Boruto? Ikemoto responded, Naruto is a boy who starts with nothing and will end up getting everything, while Boruto is a boy who has everything and will end up losing everything. Yeah, that's what we've kind of been predicting for the longest time. Naruto started with nothing and gained everything as the underdog. Boruto started with everything as the privileged kid and then lost it all. Boruto therefore has a side of Sasuke because he lost everything like him, but also has a side of Naruto because he will do anything to get what he wants. Yep, that sounds just about right. What are the differences in the Naruto/Sasuke and Boruto/Kawaki relationship? Kishimoto responds, Naruto and Sasuke are different in appearance, but are similar in depth. They both have experienced loneliness, and that's what makes them united. Boruto and Kawaki are totally different. They have nothing in common. Ikemoto then says, in the Naruto Sasuke and Boruto Kawaki relationships, each is a rival to the other to assert themselves. However, their opposition is very different. In Naruto, the protagonist is constantly in opposition, where he expresses and transmits what he feels to Sasuke. It is by doing this that he evolves as a hero. In Boruto, it is Kawaki who shows a strong attachment to the main character. Boruto, who has become a young man, is a character who has completely evolved. He is clairvoyant and has great open-mindedness. Okay, yeah, that sort of makes sense. Compared to Kawaki, the importance of what he carries on his shoulders is different. It will be Kawaki who will show an evolution as a character. Wow, interesting. So they're kind of hinting that Kawaki's gonna probably have more character development to come. Boruto is the one who kind of has established himself now, especially in the time skip, and Kawaki's kind of formed this attachment to him. Much like Naruto did in the original story, Kawaki is going to have to evolve to sort of push their relationship forward. Probably involve in terms of, like, you know, stop being such a dick to Boruto and actually understand the predicament he's in. I'm sure he's going to get more character development in that regard, because currently he is so single-minded, one track, kill Boruto, kill Momoshiki, that's all I care about, and nothing else. Man, I would love for him to kind of evolve out of that rut and make a little more sense with his decision making. So it sounds like, maybe, if I interpret this right, that's where the story's heading, so I'm pretty excited about that. Next question. Kishimoto, did you feel like developing a character better in Naruto? He says, yes, Sakura. She's the only one who didn't have the right to have her parents drawn. I did it for the film format, but never in the original format. I wanted to do this, but I missed the boat, and it was difficult to have them interfere in the plot towards the middle end of the story. Oh, I think when they say film format, they probably mean the anime. So he had the anime add Sakura's parents, but it was too little too late to actually involve them in the plot. Alright, next question. What are your favorite animals in the work? Kishimoto responds, Gamabunta. That's cool. Ikemoto responds, Kashin Koji's toad, because it is actually a scientific ninja tool with the evolution of AI. It's said that robots will have a soul. It reminds me of that. Or Mitsuki's snake. I like all those. Those are good picks. Interesting, Ikemoto likes Mitsuki snakes. I would have never thought that. Kashin Koji's toads are definitely cool, though. Next question. Do you have any advice for young mangakas? Kishimoto responds, I'm not saying it's always going to be fun, but try to find something that makes you happy. You can feel it when someone is having fun. Ikemoto responds, I want to advise them to show what they like. Some will be embarrassed and not dare to do it, but it would be a shame. The enthusiasm and knowledge that we have for what we like can be powerful weapons. True. Just don't be ashamed of what you're interested in and write a manga about something that makes you happy. When work is hard, it helps to keep motivation. About Boruto, I sometimes read comments. Some find it weird that all the female characters wear heels when they are ninjas. Bro's been reading r/Boruto. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people complain about that. Rightfully so. Like, why are all these characters wearing heels? They're supposed to be ninjas. What's his response? Let's see. However, it's my taste, so it's like that. He just said, fuck you, I like giving them heels, don't give a shit. Oh, that's so funny. Originally, they are professionals in chakra control, so it's not a problem for them. After all, they are ninjas of the new generation. Dude, that's such a bullshit excuse. He's like, I want to give them heels, bro. Deal with it. They can control chakra, they're fine. And that's the end of the thread. Masashi Kishimoto and Mikio Ikemoto will be at the Grand Rex on Sunday for a conference, so other information about the Naruto and Boruto manga will be shared. Before we end things off, I do want to loop back about a couple things that interested me the most. So a lot of this was just kind of funny stuff, giving motivation to manga artists, what's their favorite character, Sakura, blah blah blah. I found the Kawaki Boruto stuff kind of interesting, the parallels between how they're actually a lot different than the way Naruto and Sasuke were written. Code was supposed to die a long time ago. I think it's a crazy takeaway. It's just hilarious, all things considered. Another, even more important character was saved from dying. Oh, so this kind of implies that they decided they wanted to do more with Kashin Koji towards the end of the Ishiki fight. Maybe this is in reference to Koji. Maybe he was meant to die against Ishiki, and then they decided, nah, we got more in store for him, and had him, escape the fight, and then bring him back into Blue Vortex with his prescience ability. Yeah, this was a cool interview. I really liked this bit of information about how Sarada wears clothes from the same brand that Boruto liked. I thought that was pretty interesting, and wonder if they're going to add any details about that in the manga. So yeah, that's about it. Let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments below. Smash the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you next time. Peace out, boys.